At that point, I just knew I've made such a mess on this trade. Holding more than 60,000 worth of stocks with no real plan and not sure of what to do with it. Enough is enough. I've put my ego aside. I recognize my mistake and it's time to cut losses and move on. Hello investors and future investors, welcome to 1 Hour Options channel. On this channel, I'm sharing behind the scenes and step-by-step instructions of consistent winning strategies whether the market is up or down. All you're going to need to invest today is a bit of your time for this video and start trading as little as 1 hour a week. If that sounds good to you, welcome to the channel for passive income via options trading, which I call it Pivot. In this video, instead of going over a winning trade, I want to share with you a promising trade that can go wrong and went really wrong. So you can learn from my mistakes and not to mess up like I did in this video. This is actually a trade that I consider quite good. I felt good initially because upon entering the trade, I completed my checklist of risk management analysis, developing the trade plan, and the exit strategy. But I was forgetting something that glues all together for my strategy to work. Perhaps I'm forgetting something that ties everything to lock up the profit. To make things worse, this losing trade happened even in the market that keeps going up. S&P was up, Russell, Dow Jones, and Nasdaq all hit record high recently. And this trade is now on the main stocks. Yet I lost 46 times from my initial credit premium. So let's go back in time and unravel this losing trade. This trade was on Meta stock. And it happened when the stock jumped 8.5% within a week from $574 to $623. Before I dive into the details of my trade, I want to kind of give you what I thought about the Meta stock before leading up to the trade and my rationale on the stock. So here's Meta's daily chart in a year. You can see Meta went up from $300 to $400 and then established at the 520 zone for a while. Since then, the stock hit the resistance level at 600 range and tested the resistance level a few times and retreated a few times. This trade was entered at 574 on November 29, 2024. Again, here's a look at the stock rejected 4 times at 600 level previously. So my thought process was I was going to construct a ratio call or 1-on-1 strategy at 595 and 600 level where the stock got rejected a few times and establish a further away short strike at 610 in the event that the stock makes a breakthrough, give myself a cushion. So by buying 595 call, sell 600 call, and selling another 610 call, I constructed a 1-1-1 wide call ratio spread, collected $6 in premium, and created the trap. So here's a trap. So if the stock closed between the green zone of between 595 and 610 strike price, my maximum profit is $500, and I would lose the trade should the stock price won't pass 615 break-even strike. If you're not familiar with what the ratio call spread or 1-on-1 strategy, I've made a video for you. I explain a step-by-step and also show you a live trade on how to close out this strategy in profit. So here's my trade plan. Rolling with the punches in virtual reality wearing the Oculus Rift. So my exit strategy is if the stocks move past my break-even strike, I will roll up and out. Plan A, if the stock reaches 610 strike and is basically tested, I'm going to roll to the next 7-day DTE with no credit. Plan B, I'm going to roll again on the expiration using $500 credit I collect from 595 at $600 spread. As a trader, you also need to consider what the worst case scenario could be. In this case, if the stock really moves up with a sharp directional movement, I will leverage my existing 72 shares and get assigned partially. So this is exactly what happened. A day after I entered the trade, the stock jumped up 3% in a day with $17.50 and closing at 590 and almost at my 595 long strike. Day 2, it jumped again another 3%, closed at 610 short strike. At this point, I was thinking this is the candle that's going to try to make a new high with conviction. The next day, which is the day 3, the stock actually went up to 617 and passed my break even at 615. At that point, I have a lot of thoughts. Basically, I was trying to predict the market at the moment. There's momentum in this, and the stock could form a new high and a new support line with a strong movement in the overall market like S&P and Nasdaq, like I mentioned to you earlier. If this keeps going up, there are only a couple of times I can roll out and up, and potentially I could have a losing trade for the first time in 2 months. I was so focused on keeping my record of 46 winning streak. So I came up with a plan, which I didn't really plan in the beginning, which is buying 100 shares at 615 to cover my positions. And that's the start of a huge mistake. At that point, I'm already holding 100 Meta shares at 615. The next day, if you've been trading long enough, you know the stock market can make you a fool. And that's exactly what happened. Meta made a record high of 619 first, but closed down 1% to 608. At that point, I was thinking, hey, what if the entire market drops and goes into correction? Remember, S&P made a record high at that time too. I could be holding the bag for a long time. So now on the day of expiration, I'm still holding 100 shares of Meta at $615. I still have to roll up and out according to my trade plan. And 610 call strike is now worth $17 because the stock is at now 625. It jumped up 2.5% on the day of closing, closed at 625. At that point, I just knew I have made such a mess on this trade, holding more than 60,000 worth of stocks with no real plan and not sure what to do with it. I have to put aside my ego. I recognize my mistake and it's time to cut losses and move on. It's time to clear the mess. First step was locking my profit. Close out the 595 and 600 strikes for a $500 profit and close out 610 short strike for a loss of $1,700. And I sold my 625 cover calls at a money for $1.4 credit, which gave me $140, and I sold 100 shares of 623, which I bought it for $615, making a profit of $800. In total, I have a net loss of $260. So the initial setup for the trade was to turn the credit premium of $6 to $500 profit, but never mind that. I ended up losing $260. That is 46 times of the credit I'm supposed to collect it. So if you have made it this far to this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and comment. Even if you're commenting the worst part of this video, it would mean a lot to me. So the question is, what else I could have done? Could it be avoided with my trade plan? Absolutely. And this is what happened the next week. The stock went up and down. First, it went down to 613, 1.6% down, and then up 1% the next day. Then make another all-time high, $632 with 2% up, and down a little, and close the next week at $620. And that 620 is lower than what I could have rolled up and out from 610 strike with no credit. So had I stayed true to my trade plan, I would have just made $500, and the next week 620 call would have just expired. So analyzing the losing trade is as important as the winning trade. So if my trade plan was correct, then I was missing something, remember? It is a discipline to stick to the plan and execute it. There's no point of having a plan if I don't carry out my plan. So the key is don't focus on one trade. Because even though I lost that one trade, all in all, I made a profit of $186 that week from other trades. With a win rate of 82%, only 2 losses out of 11 trades. And if I just look at all the trades under Meta alone this year, I still make a profit of over $3,000. Including this loss, I have a win rate of 86%. Only 3 out of 22 were losses. So remember, if you just look at the trees, you can't see the forest. Look at the overall gains. Don't just look at one loss. And I'm grateful to this year for making the consistent winning and made over $30,000 this year. So guys, just don't focus on one trade. Not every trade is a winning trade. Look at the next 100 trades. And that's all I want to share with you today. I really hope you enjoy watching this video as much as you learn something out of it. It's important for me that I share you not just my winning trades, but also my losses. Most importantly, I want to share with you how to make passive income. If I can do it, you can do it too. Please share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.